Hey there! Welcome to Sneaking in the Green Room. I'm your host, Andrew Kushner, and each week I get the pleasure of sitting down with some of Portland's funniest comedians. Hell, let's be honest, these are some of the country's funniest comedians. Today, I got a good one. Yeah, we got a comic who is destroying mics all over the city. He is, in my opinion, probably the hottest comic right now in Portland. Up for discussion, but at the same time, that's my opinion.
I'm at least the best insulated comic in Portland.
Oh man, and he just had a huge weekend. He opened for one of the biggest comics at Helium, which is our A club. It is where you want to be. He is Adam Pasi.
Hey, buddy.
Dude, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come here.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, this is an honor, definitely. So, as I just said, you just were hosting across the street at Helium.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good time. Good. Tony Hinchcliffe was a great headliner.
Tony Hinchcliffe, man.
Yeah,
that's
and,
nice.
Also, Ashley Barnhill was a speech.
Oh yeah.
And they were very cool, just as people. And then we had really good shows all around, I believe.
So. Well, that's a huge honor. I know that getting to host at Helium is one of the top. That means you're making it.
Working towards, yeah. So.
Well, tip of my cap to you.
Thanks, buddy.
Definitely. So Adam, I mean, let's get into it. Where were you born? Where were you raised?
I was born in Tacoma, Washington. I'm an Army brat, so I grew up mostly on the East Coast of Germany. The list goes Tacoma born, San Francisco, Munich, Germany, Staten Island, New York, Bayonne, New Jersey, Bremerhaven, Germany, Fayetteville, North Carolina, Vacaville, California, Okinawa, Japan, Portland since 2000.
Wow. Yeah, you have been around the world and back.
Yeah.
That is amazing. And so I'm sure that contributed to having to be funny growing up. I mean, you were...
Oh yeah, new kid. New kid every 3 years.
Oh yeah.
Also fat new kid, so...
Oh man, you really had to work.
The new hot kid game wasn't really working for me.
Oh man, when I would move around, I was the California kid, and I moved to Kansas, so it was pretty simple. They were like, "Oh, he's a surfer boy," you know. And I just played it. Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah, but then I moved back to LA, and they were like, "This kid's a fucking douche." Anyway, enough about me. It's about you. So yeah, I guess man, you said all over the world, Okinawa, Japan. When did you first see comedy? I mean, when were you introduced to stand-up?
About first comedy I've ever seen is when I was on a VHS tape. It's of a comic of like a guy that plays tourist spots in Hawaii. It was about 1987. I don't know how old the tape is, but I saw the tape in 1987. It was a guy named Frank DeLima.
Oh, he's just crushing luau's and stuff?
Actually, yeah, I think he plays like probably like the hotel or whatever.
Definitely.
Like big tourist.
Don Ho he opens for Don Ho or something.
Probably like closely related.
That is awesome.
But like I thought it was funny back then, but it's just like super racist impersonations of all the different people on the island.
Oh man.
Yeah, there's an Imelda Marcos. There's a Chinese rock star named Bruce Springroll. A Japanese radio co-host, and Japanese radio host on the station is called Radio Koho. I'm trying to remember. Oh, he does a Samoan, of course, represent called Abdullah Fatah, and that one I actually still think is funny to this day.
Oh my gosh, man, that's unique. You know, that's probably different than any other comedian. You know, I've spoken to.
It's bad. I wouldn't cite it as an influence on me.
I mean, I grew up with Andrew Dice Clay and, you know, some other bad comics, so I don't think...
call those bad. But
no, I mean, man, so interesting. And you would just listen to that tape over and over, put it on...
Yeah, I watched that thing so many times. That's the first stand-up comedy. I've been trying to figure out, I don't know at which point I figured out that comedy was a thing. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember, like, music, I want to be a rock star, because that's something you can do.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I remember that from, like, the moment I listened to music. But, like, even after seeing Frank DeLima, like, I have no idea when it occurred to me, comedy's something you can do. But probably the next one, and one that I think probably would still be fun, I haven't seen it in a very long time, but was Dana Carvey's HBO special. That was about 1990. 97, 96, 97, 98, one of those three.
In the George Bush era.
Yeah, he did the George Bush voice, the fucking 49ers song.
Oh, he was genius. He
It was fun.
He was amazing back then. He had like 15 or 20 different characters that he would do.
It was all over the place, but me and my friends used to watch the shit out of that.
Nice.
And No Cure for Cancer on a cassette tape was another big one for me. Denis Leary's first album.
Oh yeah, Dennis is huge. He was great. His little, he was
Bill
like me,
Hicks.
very anger, rage based.
Yeah.
I had to tone it down a little, but anyway. So when did you finally come to Portland and stick here? When did that happen?
2000, I broke out from the nest, and my grandparents have always lived here. Portland's like the one constant city in my life, so it's the closest thing to roots that I have.
Gotcha.
And so me and my brother moved here, and with the exception of like a summer that I lived in Vegas, like I've lived here ever since.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad you finally came here and decided to stay in Portland. So you've seen the comedy scene from the beginning.
No.
Oh no, you haven't.
No, I came in right after the Suki's era ended.
That's right. So it kind of was 2007, 8 is when this, or is it even later than that? Am I?
That's I think that's just where like all those guys were developing. I started in 2012.
Gotcha. So you've been doing this a few years now. I mean, 2 or 3.
I'll be 3 in November.
Well, congrats. You've been just exploding. I mean, it seems like things are really happening for you right now.
It's going well.
When you did your first open mic, how did that go?
My first open mic was terrible.
Oh man.
It was as well it should have been. I went up I did a music mic at a bar that I frequented, basically lived at back then, which is the only way I was comfortable doing it because I was so scared. I slammed a bunch of shots, got on stage, told some very shitty jokes.
Oh, man.
And, standard fare for your first set, something about gay people, rape joke. I think I opened with my masturbation joke.
The usual, yeah.
Yeah, fucking
raping and dick jokes. Those are the first for most comics.
First year bingo, basically, right off the bat.
Yeah.
But then I sat at the table and was bullshitting with my friends and all the people in the bar that I just bombed in front of, and then we were all laughing together, and so that's basically was transitioning the way I talk shit with my friends into what I do on stage is what's worked for basically what I've hopefully done successfully.
Yeah, no, I think watching you talk a lot about your personal life and just experiences and observations in the real world versus just trying to come up with some funny, quick one-liners with,
Yeah, but see, I appreciate stuff that's outside of like what I do because it seems more magical to me. Like people who were real alty and then one-liner comics, like when they really kill, I'm like, that's cool. Cause like
I agree.
When someone's like a storyteller, I'm like, oh cool, you had this thing happen to you, and then you worked it out. And then like for example, you got fucking Christian Ricketts up there, just not acknowledging that he has a puppet on his hand. And it's the funniest goddamn thing you've seen in your life.
Dude, that is an amazing bit.
It's like, how? How did you, where did this even start? What did you?
Yeah, no, I see these guys, like, there's a new comic, Jay Shingle, who does a character.
Jay Shingle I've just really gotten into.
Yeah, no, he is owning it. That is him. He does not break his character, and that to me is just brilliant. That's something that's...
He's a really sweet kid.
He is really
No,
nice
actually,
guy.
my buddy has been pushing him on me. David Mascaro and I run a couple shows together, and he's like, I gave Jay Shingle a guest spot. I'm like, yeah, whatever, we're partners, I trust you. And then I finally saw Jay for the first time, and I really loved him.
He's on another level. And that's, I agree with you. I do more, life-based humor. Again, I'm a rookie. I've been doing this 5 months. This is, just for the record, this is me, the rookie, interviewing the comedian. At no point am I trying to... don't sell yourself short. I know you're trying to be humble. You are definitely a comedian. But yeah, that's what I'm doing here is I'm sneaking in the green room to interview the star. But yeah, no, I have a lot of love and respect for anybody who get on stage and try something different. Do something out of the norm. Portland is, right now it's going through its golden age of comedy. I've been hearing that.
You can say that's pretty, we consistently have been churning out really great comics. And it's, Like Bridgetown brings a lot of great attention to the city. Also, Helium, as a club, brings a lot of great attention to the city. And there's some like the top and mid tier are all fantastic comedians.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm blown away at the talent I see. I've been a student of comedy for many years, and I can go out to Mike's here and see as good a comedy as I can see on Comedy Central, and so yeah, I'm blown away by what's going on here. It's comics like you and crowds, audiences coming out to support.
Yeah, people put together great shows.
Yeah.
Like, Barbara's It's Gonna Be Okay is an amazing show.
Oh, great show.
I did that a couple of weeks. That's some of the most fun I've ever had while performing.
That's Barbara Holmes. She's a huge pillar in the community. She's really done a lot of work.
Beast, Joanne's show.
Oh yeah, and Alberta Street.
Alberta Street. Amy's Midnight Mass is my favorite show in town.
Yeah, great show.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's huge things happening, and
Humans versus the Wheel, Bar Gods every Sunday night.
there you go.
Forgot my own show.
Definitely. Well, hey, now that we're plugging stuff. So yeah, I guess we're already talking about it. Yeah, being in Portland, you've gotta, it's a town where you've gotta be smart. You can't just come out there and be an idiot and make it.
Smart is the thing. I mean, yeah, it helps.
It helps.
But like, I'm not necessarily smart.
Well, I mean, your writing seems to be at a level where you get respect for, your angles on jokes versus just trying to get a rise out of a crowd or,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
laughter first.
Laughter first.
Like, I have jokes where my intent is something plus laughter, but laughter is always first.
And I mean, like you said, be funny. You've got to be funny at the end of the day. So, and I mean, what would you, if you were going to give a new comic in the city like myself a tip, what not to do, what to do, something, what is your recommendation for someone who's getting started?
First of all, the scene is the scene. Like, people will show up. There's just a flavor of comedy that works in Portland. Like, we've talked off camera. We're talking about like how like hell, even Tony Hinchcliffe, who I just worked with this weekend, very dark, very vicious style.
Yeah.
Like, not delicate. I don't know if what he was as a new comic could have developed into the comic he is now if he were in Portland, as opposed to coming out of the Comedy Store, which is way more rough and tumble, not nearly as PC as we are.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I don't know that a lot of the great voices that we've had develop out of Portland would be able to develop anywhere else. And so, like, it's like, but people come in, and a lot of times, like, I was talking about shit first jokes, and in no way should anyone have had to hear. And so, but then they'll make excuses. It's like, oh, this place is just too delicate. And like, well, it is delicate. So the scene is the scene. So if you don't have the ability to write anything that's going to work here, and you want to do comedy, then you're not going to be able to do it here. Or you can build something of your own. And the other thing is, sometimes I'll hear people complaining about getting on the shows, and I don't think they're good enough to get on shows. But the complaint, it's never, the focus will be like, oh, this guy got to do a show. I want to do a show because this guy did a show. And like, a show isn't like a ride. It's very fun, but you're supposed to be on the show because you're good enough to be on the show.
Exactly.
So worry about being good enough to be on shows rather than just getting on the show.
It's a great tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I've gotten a lot of great advice from some good seasoned comics, and at the end of the day is focus on yourself to be funnier.
Yeah, that's the end all be all.
And like you said, respect the scene, understand that this is the material, or there's some themes that work well in the city, and learn, study it a little, see what works.
I'm not even saying that you can or can't say anything, but I'm saying, like, just your reaction to when something doesn't go over. Like, you came into someone else's house.
Exactly. No, it's hard sometimes, I think, for myself being a rookie comic. I think when I first got started, I was thinking everybody's against me. Everybody, they're personally, they don't like my jokes. That's why they're not laughing, or they just don't like me as a person. They think I'm too aggressive, or too in your face. And recently I'm starting to see, no, I just wasn't funny. It was that simple. I mean, my delivery sucked. My material sucked. It was that. I mean, and it took me to finally step back and say what's not working here. And it's still not, I'm not blowing up. I'm not doing anything great. I'm just, I'm progressing. I think that's where...
You've shown improvement, I can tell you.
Well, I appreciate that, Adam. It's nice.
In my humble opinion.
It's nice to hear that, and I'm not content. I'm not even close to where I want to be, and I think that's where...
It's never going to be, though.
Exactly. And that's what you have to be. You've got to constantly want to strive to get better.
I used to do this thing, like in my first year. It's so brutal, but it made my jokes better, but it's just like really unhealthy mentally. I record a lot of my sets just before it was to try and go over jokes. Now it's just to get the timing of jokes, figure out what joke is how long. But like when I first started, I had almost all my sets from my first 7 months of comedy in my phone. So what I do is I get a 6-pack of Tall Boys, and I sit on my friend's porch all night and get drunk, and I'd only listen to the good ones. Not because I wanted to hear myself be awesome. I wanted to find things to hate in the good ones and pick myself apart, which a lot of self-loathing involved in that process.
Oh, I can imagine. I've got a bunch of mine and I can't go near them. It's hard for me to listen to them. I crawl into a hole.
Yeah.
But the good ones I do listen to once in a while, and now I'm going to start looking at them for all the negatives I can find. It's the only way.
It might be helpful, but it's not going to put a smile on your face.
No, that's why you drink the Tall Boys. That's you got to take a little of the pain away.
Yeah, basically like an angry, drunken stepfather, but my jokes are the kid that has to put up with my temper. Harsh metaphor.
It is. So yeah, I guess, another thing is we're going to be doing this, it's going to be on local access, so I kind of wanted to get a local feel and find out what you do on your normal days when you're not doing comedy. What do you do for fun? I mean, are you into music? You into food? What makes you tick?
There's not a lot of days I'm not doing comedy.
You're busy, you're always at 7 days a week for you pretty much.
5 at least.
5. Well, let's say, if you were going to go out to eat, let's say, where would you recommend in Portland? What are some favorite, local establishments you like to frequent?
Probably my spot because the happy hour is crazy. A little Italian spot called Cibo.
I love Cibo. Oh, amazing, delicious food.
35th and Division.
35th and Division.
Spicy spaghetti. Mussels. I got a bucket of mussels for $8, and those are just $8.
I'm getting hungry right now. I don't know if this was the best line of questioning. What was I thinking?
It's hurting me now because I actually got a toothache and I can't eat solid food till tomorrow until I get it.
I'll blend you up some mussels. That'll be delicious. Maybe not. That could be awful. All right, so for the most part, we'll find you at comedy clubs. That's where we're going to see you, or at bars doing your your spiel. That's where Adam's at.
Yeah.
You got anything big coming up in December? Any fun stuff that you want to plug?
Probably should have looked at my calendar before we
I should have probably brought that up with you. I don't think I even told you that we would get to this point, man.
How
about do you have a website where people can find out what you're doing, or
just
Facebook?
on Twitter. I'm always tweeting out whatever I'm up to at Adam Pasi, ADAMPASI. And December, I can't think of anything monumental I'm doing, but like every Sunday night at 8 p.m. We're at Bar of the Gods, me and David, doing our show Funny Humans versus The Wheel.
And that's David Mascaro.
Yeah, David Mascaro.
Funny man.
My partner. And there's a wheel we have a comedian spin at the top of the show, and it gives them a challenge that they have to do for the second half of their set.
Oh, I like that.
So,
nice.
And stuff like tell your very first jokes, which is always a fun one for me.
Oh boy, I don't think I could do that. That would get me in trouble. Yeah.
Well, imagine like you'll have someone who's deep on the game, making them dig back for that.
Oh yeah, no, this is.
And then the worst part is when the first jokes are really great. You're like, I just suck. But like, tell your first jokes, one-liners, bad hype, man. That's where I'm basically the flavor of your set.
Oh, nice.
Spicy comedy where you eat a habanero.
Did I just hear you did something recent? You had to eat like some pepper or something?
Yeah, we did the show at Helium. And
Helium put on the bar. They actually
they put
hosted
up.
the
They
show.
let us do Funny Humans vs. the Wheel.
Oh, that's a huge honor.
Yeah,
Man,
it's fun.
that's
We're actually
great.
gonna be back there in January. So
Congrats!
Yeah.
Wow.
But so yeah, and so someone already ate the pepper. Amanda Arnold ate the pepper. Did a great job with it, and we weren't allowing any double spins. But Sean Jordan spun the pepper, so I told him, you don't have to eat it because we're not doing doubles, or you can eat it and I'll eat one with you. And so
Were they jalapenos or what?
habaneros.
Oh, you just said that, didn't you?
Yeah. We
My ADD.
it got brutal.
Oh, I can only imagine.
And I was on
sweats and the friggin'.
I was on an empty stomach actually.
Oh, man,
So-
you must have been sick.
I threw up a little bit afterwards, and I was
the
still in bad
burn
shape.
throw-ups. Oh, those are the worst.
I was still in bad shape till I downed a bottle of Pepto. And it's funny, one of the club managers just happened to be going to the Fred Meyer we were getting the Pepto at while I was puking. And so she parks right in front of us, and it's a weird coincidence. She's like, Adam, what are you doing? And I'm like, I just pop my head and go, I ate a habanero for the show. It went really well, except for this right now, but it was a good show. And I went back to like,
oh, man. See, that's the life right there. This is what you're doing for comedy.
It was just 2 hours of pain. Not even that, actually. Probably like an hour.
It built character, I'm
It
sure.
was like a baby, though. But yeah, down the bottle of Pepto, ate a frozen pizza for my midnight snack, went to bed.
Just a regular day for Adam Pasi.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show, taking the time to just grace us with your presence and provide your insight. I mean, I'm proud of you. I've been seeing you for the last few months, and I really feel like you're just. I'm hearing the rumbles. You've got the juice right now. So keep it going, man. Keep it going. I'll be out there and rooting you on, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Comedy Central and doing big things in the future.
Woo, it's a long ways off. Maybe someday. But
Hey.
yeah, man, thanks a lot. I'm enjoying what I'm doing now.
Amazing. Folks, this has been another great episode. Thanks again.